Hi everybody, I'm sitting here in my Ford Focus Electric that I did an initial review of about a year and a half ago, and I thought I'd give a follow-up as to how the car is and how I'm enjoying it, or some of the quirks I have with it and some of the things I don't like. So the first thing I wanted to show you here is, if you can zoom in here, you can see the trip. And this is a fairly warm time of year since it is 80 degrees outside, or 86 right now. So I have found that during the summer this car works really well. It shows 66 on the battery still. I can get up to 80 miles on the battery if I'm careful, and I can probably go beyond that if I really try to baby the accelerator. But I typically get around 70 miles easily during the summer. Now, one of the quirks is during the winter that drops substantially. I'm lucky sometimes to get 50 miles with the heat running, and it has been cold at 1 degree or 0 degrees outside, so I understand, but it drops a lot, and it makes the car very hard to use during the winter. Now, with that, I have to say I have been very happy though with the car. It does work very well. It's perfect for my commute. It's held up pretty well under the conditions. It is primarily garage stored, so I'm not surprised that it's holding up well, but you know, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, as you can tell, it's not scratched up or dinged up in here. The outside still looks pretty good. But now let me just talk to you about one thing that I was really high on when I first got the car, and now I'm not nearly as high, and that is this infotainment system that they have here. They have the 4-quadrant system, which actually is a pretty good setup, but it lags a lot. So if I click on climate here, I mean, look how long that took to come up. And then if I go to click anything, it's working a little better, but it just seems like it takes a long time to set stuff. So if I go to turn the fan up, for some reason it's not always this responsive, but at times it's really unresponsive, it feels like, and you really are sitting there waiting for it, and it can get kind of annoying waiting for it. But overall, it's not bad. The navigation, again, I'm going to click on it. You know, I mean, it's been 4 seconds there to come up with the map. I have it zoomed out quite a bit, but it just takes a while to come up. Radio, right now I have it set to my Bluetooth, but this is another issue that I've been having lately, and I think it might be my phone, but I'm not 100% sure, but the Bluetooth doesn't always connect either, and when it does, you can't turn off the radio, you can't adjust anything, so whatever the volume was for what you were playing through your Bluetooth, it plays the radio at that volume. And if I were to disconnect right now, it would play at, let's see, what do I have the volume set to here? See how high the volume is set for my Bluetooth? It plays the radio at that volume, and there's times where I've gotten in the car and it blasts the radio really loud, and it's pretty annoying. So that's something that they really should fix. Now, I have to say, this is the other thing that I'm kind of upset about. There has been no updates for this unit. I was told, oh, Ford's doing updates, you're going to eventually have Pandora, iHeartRadio. Well, I have none of those. And they're not updating it. They've just come out with the new Sync 3 system, which I've heard is good. I have not tested it yet, but I expected updates on this system, not just a new system that I then have to go get a new car for. Now, for me, it's not as big a deal. I'm leasing this, and at the end of 3 years, I just give it up, or a year and a half from now, really, and I can go get a new one. So it's not a big deal for me. But if you're buying this car or bought a Ford and they had this system in it, I would be sort of upset. They kind of threw you under the bus. I mean, I was told that there was going to be updates. I was told that I was going to have things, and it is not there. And this system is mediocre. I was more excited about it when I first got it. After using it a lot, I found that I just don't use it at all. I usually use, for volume, I use these controls here, and for everything else, I use this set down here. Now, I will say, Ford was smart enough to include this set. I have test driven other cars that have most of the things done through the screen. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan at all. It's something that I just don't think really works out that well, because there's no feel, there's no instant feedback. But again, also on this is another example though. See, look at that. I clicked the button 6 times, it only went up 2. You can't click it really fast. Otherwise it doesn't register. You have to like click, click. So these are things that Ford, I think, needs to work out with there. So I mean, you know, look at that. You really have to, you just have to baby everything, it seems like. I mean, this works much better, obviously, but I'm just, some of the tactile feel in the car I'm not as pleased with as I was when I first bought it, and I felt that that should be known. Now, so far, let me just show you here one other thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to show here is when I turn off the car. I can't really see it because of the reflection. Think about that, but there's the summary. So I have 3,000 miles from regen and about 317 watt hours per mile average, which isn't bad, but I think that's partially because of the fact that I drive it a lot more during the summer when I get a lot better usage from the battery compared to the winter where the usage is pretty bad. To be honest with you, it really was shocking. I mean, there was a couple times where I didn't know if I was going to make it to where I was going. In fact, I took a picture at one point showing I only had 2 miles left as I pulled into my office, and I had 30 miles when I left my house. That's 10 miles away. It was really disappointing to get to work and wonder if I was going to even make it there because there was no charging stations in between. Now, I didn't charge my car that night because I had well over 50% of the battery, and I thought I would have no problem coming in. So anyhow, that's my update. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post. I can always take a video of something else if you request. And thank you.